Hi! Welcome to Opening the Vault.
Following Mickey's footsteps, where we watch every Disney animated feature in chronological order.
Today, we're going to be watching another one of Disney's package films,
Make Mine Music.
This is a Disney film, much like Saludos Amigos, that I had never heard of and never seen.
It's from 1946, so the war's going on, and the majority of Disney's animators were drafted, and then the rest that were still in Burbank were put on projects for the government, making instructional films and propaganda. Walt didn't want the feature department to die, so they took all these pieces and scraps and put them together in these package films.
Much like Saludos Amigos, I expect that there will be segments in here that I've probably seen on the Disney Channel, but we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, here we go.
So let's watch
Make Mine Music.
It's the most fun you'll ever have listening to music. The magic of Walt Disney. And the music of some of the all-time greats.
All right, so there it was.
It's a very interesting selection and choices put together into a film.
Right. But if you think about it, this is just what they had lying around the studio, so they just put it together. It makes sense why it's so discombobulated, because there is no plot arc. We watched a North American release.
The one we found. This one's tough to find.
Yes, it's very difficult to find this one.
It had a very limited release in 1946. It didn't have subsequent releases. It was cut up into pieces and sold as shorts individually. So it never really was more together as Make Mine Music, except for when it was first released.
It wasn't actually released on home media until 2000 in America. It was released much earlier than that in Japan in the 80s, I think.
On Laserdisc.
On Laserdisc. In the North American release, they cut out the opening segment of the movie. In our version that we watched, the opening segment is a tone poem called Blue Bayou, which is very pretty.
Yes.
There's no story to it. It's just very lovely animation of some egrets in the Everglades.
Yes.
And so it's swampy and blue and nighttime,
it's very lovely.
It's very pretty, but it's kind of a weird piece to open a film on.
And it's very obvious that it was supposed to be in Fantasia along with the music of Clair de Lune by Debussy, but they replaced it with the new popular song, The Blue Bayou. The original opening segment is called The Martins and the Coys. Supposed to be the Hatfields and the McCoys, essentially. The Martins and the Coys was edited out of the release in North America because of gun violence unsuitable for children. I don't know what gun violence is suitable for children, but at first thought that sounded kind of silly, but
then we found it on YouTube and actually watched the segment, and yeah, it's weird. It's two redneck families living across like a valley from each other.
Just like right next to each other. And they start fighting, and then they
start shooting each other.
They kill everybody except for one boy and one girl, and then of course they fall in love, and ta-da. But up to that point it was like kind of violent, and it was like only okay, but then the guy has the gun and he sights it on the girl, and that's a little disturbing. He falls in love with her figure, and you kind of see it through her clothes, kind of silhouetted. It's a little on the creeper side.
Yeah.
I can understand why it was edited out. I think it should just be there, though. I think that's silly to remove it.
One of the shorts that I do remember, all the cats join in, is really fun. The animator is animating things as they happen. It's a bunch of kids in the 40s getting into that jukebox music and going to the malt shop. You've probably seen it or snippets of it watching the Disney Channel.
It's real fun. It's definitely one of the tops of this.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the ones I like the best.
Hilariously, one of the girls in this, she's changing. She jumps in the shower, she jumps out, and she's drying off. And apparently in the release we watched,
in the North American release,
they edited out her boobs, which is really funny. So I looked it up. It's here on YouTube. The edit only cut out, like, there's some side boob action that happens from behind. It doesn't really seem to be that big a deal. And I can understand why editing it for children and if it was going to be on the Disney Channel, but once again, like, is this just kind of body shaming? There's nothing, like, lewd about it. Maybe a little 90s editing going on.
Censorship.
The next segment is a piece called Without You. It's just a lovely song sung, a kind of heartbreaking, sad kind of song.
It's kind of a downer, though. After going from All the Cats Join In, which is really upbeat and fun and colorful, and then you immediately go into Without You, very sad ballad of just someone missing their sweetheart, basically. Mm-hmm. The animation's pretty, but the colors, lots of blues and dark shades, and the one after that is Casey at the Bat, which I'm sure anyone who had the Disney Channel growing up has seen this segment.
Oh, yeah. The Disney version, it's like an Irishman narrating.
So many Irish stereotypes.
So, yeah.
Like painful.
A lot of ginger going on that's not necessarily good. I like the aesthetic, though. It's kind of this romanticized Victorian ideal.
Yeah.
Disney uses that a lot. We'll see that come up more and more. I like the visual style of Casey and the Bat. It starts off actually kind of realistic, and then it transitions into the cartoon of it. So that's a lot of fun. But I did not remember the song at all at the beginning, and it has some very not all right lyrics.
Not PC at all.
Some lyrics saying
very
how
sexist.
The men are enjoying the game and the women are too, but they don't understand the score or how it's kept. But man, they like that Casey. What?
As a kid, I don't remember liking Casey. The women were all going crazy and fawning over him, but I thought he was annoying. He's arrogant and cocky, and he has a huge ego, and he just sort of struts around like he's all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I thought I was supposed to be sad because he was like this big hero.
Me too.
So I didn't really understand the story until later, right. And that it's really he's kind of a jerk, and he should have just been trying to hit that ball instead of letting it go by.
Right.
Because the other guys on the team are like bumbling fools.
But they hit the
ball. They hit the ball. So
the guy that gets it all wrapped up in his mustache. He's like,
yeah. So they're all ridiculous, but they hit the ball. And then Casey, the big hero, he's the one who fails. The classic tale of the downfall of hubris.
The next piece was entitled Two Silhouettes, which was really pretty. It was two ballet dancers, silhouettes, obviously, dancing. They were real people that were essentially rotoscoped into animated backgrounds. And so it was pretty. Again, it was a weird piece to follow Casey at the Bat.
Yeah, it went from kiddie to adult, and the animation style is completely different. Oh, yeah. It must have been very tedious to make.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's beautiful.
It's very pretty.
And it's more of that Fantasia style. It's more abstract and goes to the music, but you can see some ballet, and it's nice.
The next segment was Peter and the Wolf. I'm sure anyone who grew up watching the Disney Channel has seen this short narrated by the original Winnie the Pooh,
Sterling Holloway. It's very adorably animated, and Sterling Holloway makes any stress you might have just go away because his voice is so just soothing.
It's it's a pleasant little voice he has.
Hilariously, though, it's kind of like this weird pre-revolutionary Russian stereotype of characters.
Yeah.
And they have the big beards, and they kind of do the jump dance as they walk.
Right.
So that's kind of fun, especially because this is during the war, and the revolutionary USSR government is our ally in the war. So it's, we weren't on the best terms with them even during the war, and then, of course, afterwards we were at war with them.
Right.
So making fun of Russians isn't anything new. The next segment is After You've Gone, which has a name that sounds like it's going to be sad.
Right.
But it's just a jazz piece.
Yeah.
It's got anthropomorphized musical instruments, like dancing around and running, doing stuff. It's real fun.
After having watched it, this segment was what I pictured when I heard the title, Make My Music.
Yes.
It's pretty much exactly what I thought of.
Yes. The next segment is Johnny Fedora and Alice Blue Bonnet, which you may have seen.
It's basically about these two hats that fall in love in a hat shop.
Yeah.
Alice Blue Bonnet gets purchased, and Johnny Fedora searches for her. And
he gets bought, and then he gets lost, and he's trying to find her. Hijinks ensue, and he goes through a lot of hat tragedy. Gets dirty, gets picked up by a homeless guy, gets in a bar fight, gets run over, about gets put down a drain, and then he's caught. And holes are cut in him, but it's okay because he's put on a horse right next to Alice Blue Bonnet, who's on the other horse of the ice team. So it works out.
Happy ending.
It's that Victorian aesthetic again. It's back. It's really cute.
It is cute.
You see a lot of the classic Disney stuff in Johnny Fedora's animation with the stretch and squish. And the song is sung by the Andrews sisters.
It's really cute.
Who are very famous for Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from 1941. They were the sweethearts of the Allied radio and all sorts of stuff during the war. So it's really great for them to be involved in a Disney short.
The final segment, and my least favorite one, the whale who wanted to sing at the Met.
It's a weird one to end on.
It's kind of a downer one to end on.
Yeah. So you have Willy the Whale. He's a big sperm whale. He sings. And
he sings opera, and he's so beautiful and carefree.
And there's a big mystery about it that all these people are hearing opera at sea. So this opera guy goes out to he thinks that a whale has eaten opera singers and he's going to go discover them and save them. So
by killing the whale.
And it goes into a sequence of Willy singing at the Met, Figaro.
But I think that's all a dream.
It's all a dream sequence. He's even Mephistopheles. It's amazing.
It's wonderful. It's very whimsical and cute and funny. And then the guy shoots him with a harpoon. And
kills him. And then the narrator tells you to not be sad because Willy's in heaven singing, and they show that. But it's still depressing. Yeah, it should just be Willy sings in the opera and gets famous at the end because it's a short. And it's just silly. So why kill him and have such a downer? It's well animated. It's really fun until the end. It is. It's a really silly, fun piece. Then he shoots Willy with a harpoon. Kills him. And then immediately after, the narrator's like, don't be so hard on Teddy Taddy. He just didn't know because miracles don't often happen. And Willy was a miracle and people aren't used to miracles. No, I will be hard on Teddy Taddy. I hope he drowns at sea. So yeah, I didn't like that one. I still don't. It's a weird one to end on. And then just credit, this rolls. The end. Make my music the end. Willy the Whale is, though, on a poster at PhilharMagic in Disney World, in the Magic Kingdom. Make My Music, I would say, is only okay. It makes sense as to why it was cut up and just sold individually. And apparently, even when it was released, the Martins and the Koi one, even in 1946, was criticized as being too violent for a kid's thing, for a family thing. You can watch pretty much every segment on YouTube. All the cats join in. I think the one worth seeing. If you haven't seen the Peter and the Wolf one, how have you not seen the Peter and the Wolf one? Go watch that one. Yeah, watch Casey at the Bat. Casey at the Bat's fun. It's fun. It's good to watch. Johnny Fedora and Alice Blue Bonnet. That one's cute too. Really cute one to watch. If you want to watch the whale who wanted to sing at the Met, yeah, because it's really cute except for the end. It's upsetting. I think a lot of the segments in this one have appeared as shorts on the beginning or on the end of other Disney movie releases. Yeah. So you've probably seen most of these. It's only okay. Next week, we're watching another package film, Fun and Fancy Free. I don't know that one either. Nope. I've never heard of it. Nope. So we'll see what it's about. That's right. So have you seen these? Do you remember any of these at all? Tell us about it down below. How do you feel about Willy the Whale? Make Willy the Whale sing, and like us, and subscribe to our channel. Share us with your friends and family. And you can come see us on Facebook as well. All the stuff down here in the doobly-doo. And, as they say at the Disney parks, have a magical day.